Just a robot.
So when I started my old channel, you know, the one that got hacked, I really wanted to answer every single BuzzFeed questions video, but I also wanted to re-upload my content onto this channel. So I decided to answer the 3 BuzzFeed question videos I haven't done, plus after I do that, I'm going to be showing all the old BuzzFeed questions videos I have done. Also, Pufferfish is going to add some editing tricks to make these videos a lot better. So please go check out his channel and give him a big thank you for what he has done for me. Let's start off with, 9 questions Muslims have for non-Muslims. And by non-Muslims, they mean white people.
What's the deal with Santa? So breaking and entering is okay long as it's a chubby white dude. And he's eating your mama's cookies?
Well, 1, Santa Claus is fictional. I hope you already knew that, but considering you work for BuzzFeed, it's really hard to tell when you're joking or not. And 2, Santa Claus actually leaves presents. I'm pretty sure most people would be cool with someone breaking into their house if they left an iPod under the tree and didn't take anything except for a few cookies.
When are you gonna stop asking me if I pray 5 times a day?
Well, I have never asked you or any Muslim that question, but if someone does ask you that question, they'll probably stop asking it as soon as you stop being a Muslim or that part is taken out of your holy book.
Why must you put bacon in everything?
Because bacon is delicious, and I don't have a god that tells me that I can't eat pig. Also, several non-Muslims also worship a god who tells them they shouldn't eat pig. And this is the point when I knew it was questions for white people, not questions just for non-Muslims.
Bacon-infused donuts? Come on now.
They're called Luther burgers, and I wish I wasn't a robot because they sound delicious.
Is this water safe to drink? There's bacon in this water, huh?
I hope whoever wrote that joke was stoned to death and not with marijuana.
Do you really think women wearing a hijab don't have hair underneath?
I'm sure some do, but I think most women wear a hijab because it goes against their religion if they don't. And some of the consequences are, pretty bad.
Do you think that when you see someone with a beanie, a hat, a hoodie?
No, because with people who wear a hat, a beanie, or a hoodie, you can still see their hair. If you wear a hijab and you can see the hair, then you're obviously not wearing the hijab right. You're supposed to tuck your hair underneath.
Why do you think all Muslims are Arab?
Sorry, sweetheart. Non-Muslims don't think that. In fact, Muslims think that. How do I know this? Because every time someone insults Islam, you say it's racist. Sorry, it's a religion, not a race. If all Muslims were Arab, then I guess you could put a racist spin on it. But unfortunately for you, that's not the case. Now let me ask you a question. Why do you think all Muslims are Arab?
There aren't 1 billion people in the Middle East. That's geographically, physically, intellectually impossible.
No, it's actually quite possible. Just make the entire Middle East one big city.
Why are only Muslims mentioned in talks about religious extremism?
Well, it's not. I don't know why you thought that.
Did y'all forget about the KKK? Westboro Baptist Church, Crusades.
Oh yeah, because the media has never talked about the KKK or the Westboro Baptist Church ever. But the thing is, the Westboro Baptist Church is literally one church and the KKK is pretty much dead now. Also, the Crusades happened like 1,000 years ago. Get over it already.
Why do you assume all Muslim women are conservative virginal souls?
No one thinks that. Obviously, no one thinks that all Muslim women are virgins. They're raped by their husbands on a daily basis.
Why do you expect every Muslim woman to wear a headscarf?
Non-Muslims don't think that, but your holy book does. Now cover up already.
Is every Catholic woman dressed like a nun?
That's a complete apples to oranges comparison. Catholicism doesn't ask every woman to dress up as a nun.
You really scared that we're gonna take over America with Sharia law?
Literally no one thinks that. Don't flatter yourself. Stick with something like Germany or Sweden. It's more your speed. But America is ready to take you on anytime you're ready.
You really think I want to donate 2.5% of my income to charity?
This video really should be renamed Questions Muslims Have for Their Holy Book.
Nah, that's hella McChickens.
What?
What is the secret ingredient in Church's chicken? It's so good.
I don't know what he is talking about. What is Church's chicken? Could someone answer that for me in the comments? Because I also want to know what he's talking about and what the secret ingredient is.
How can I hang out with the new pope? Because he is dope.
If I knew that, I would probably be hanging out with him myself. God, that was painful. Let's hope that the questions gay people have for straight people isn't that bad.
Why is my sexuality a lifestyle?
Why do you call it a lifestyle?
Like choosing to wear a dress?
He lives by the beach, that's his lifestyle.
Wow, that's actually a really good question. Why do some people call it a lifestyle? I'll give you guys a point for this one.
Why is it that when you find out that I'm gay, you think that I want you?
Standards, first of all.
Ha! That's actually funny. And it's a good question. Did they hire a new director or something? This is actually pretty good. Because of this, I am going to be skipping most of the questions, but there are a few bad ones.
How does it feel to be accurately represented in everything?
I never really understand what they mean by this. I don't think anyone is accurately represented in everything. Maybe that's not what they mean, but I have no idea what they mean.
Every single show and film ever.
Why is your definition of diversity a gay white man?
Well, adding a gay character, whether he be black, white, or Asian, would still be more diverse. Plus, I hate to break it to you, but a lot of minorities in America are really homophobic.
I can't think of anyone who reminds me of me.
So let's say a character has your exact look and personality, but doesn't have your sexuality. You're saying you can't relate to them, right?
The most that I had was Buffy, and she was straight.
Oh, so that's not what you were saying. What was the point you were trying to make exactly?
Why is it that you have such a large dating pool,
but still a really high divorce rate?
Do not ever stare at me again. That was terrifying. And second, think about it logically for a second. One, marriage has been around a lot longer for straight people, so obviously they would have more divorces. There's more straight people than gay people, so obviously they would have more divorces. And gay marriage also has an extremely high divorce rate.
Why do you have to call it a gay wedding?
Why do you have to call it marriage?
You have to take into account the percentage of women that are interested in women, and then those percentage of women who I'm attracted to, and then those percentage of women who are attracted to me, and then those percentage of women that, you know, I have chemistry with and that our personalities line up, and that's like 3 women, maybe.
I'm so sorry you have such a hard time in the dating world. You know, just like 90% of the human population. Okay, sorry I didn't answer those questions as well as I answered the questions from other BuzzFeed videos, but most of the questions were pretty good, and even the bad ones were semi-decent. Now I just have one BuzzFeed questions video left. The questions black people have for white people. Oh dear God, I've been dreading this day.
Why do you always make such horrible decisions in horror movies?
I'm not even gonna bring up that it's fictional, because there's already 2 major problems with this. One, I always thought the stereotype was the black guy always dies first, so obviously the white people in horror movies are making the right choice. And 2, everyone makes bad choices in horror movies!
Why do you freak out when black people are cast to play white fictional characters?
For the same reason why you freak out when a white guy is cast to play a black character. People just want accurate casting. Even if the actor's hair color is wrong, people will complain. Actually, I kind of take that back, because now that I think about it, white actors mostly play Asian characters, not black characters. So instead I'm gonna say, you can't judge until you know how it feels. Check your privilege.
What's the big deal if Idris Elba plays James Bond? I would go see it twice.
This is why I moved away from doing political videos, guys. This shit is just so stupid. That's the dumbest reason I've ever heard to see a movie in theaters twice.
Why is a big butt and big lips considered attractive on a white woman, but they're unattractive on a black woman?
Of course they get an ugly girl to say this. What is so hilarious about this is BuzzFeed literally asked the complete opposite question in questions white people have for white people.
Why is it crazy that I'm white and I have a big butt?
This is exactly why BuzzFeed got bought out. Their sheer lack of competency is through the roof.
Do y'all really think Miley is the one who created twerking? Really?
Okay, I've actually met white people who think this. Miley didn't invent twerking, she just made it mainstream.
Why am I supposed to teach you how to twerk? I don't know how to twerk.
Dear God, I hope to never see you twerk. Ugh. Also, I'm a stupid white person who thinks Miley invented twerking, so why would I think you would teach me how to twerk?
Why is it that white people always act as though they have discovered a new trend?
Well, if it's new to them, then it's a discovery for them. In fact, literally everybody thinks like this.
Why is it when a black woman wears her hair natural, it's seen as inappropriate, but when a white woman does, it's praised?
White people are not praised for having pillow hair. They still need to comb it. It's just far easier for them to manage. In fact, why is this a question for white people? It should be a question for anyone who doesn't have curly hair. Most Latino people, and especially most Asian people. God, their hair is so soft.
This is the hair that I was born with, so you wearing it as a trend is not cute.
That's not your natural hair at all. You spent several minutes on it and it still looks terrible. Also, I'm gonna wear my hair however the fuck I please. But you couldn't pay me to wear it like that. God, I miss having hair.
Like, can you appropriate my student loans?
If a white person has the same hair as a black person, the black person can still have that hairstyle. If a white person has student loans, then a black guy will also still have his student loans.
Why is it that white crime is seen as an isolated incident, but black crime is a representation of my entire community?
I have actually met white people who think all black people are criminals, and it's unfortunate when that happens. However, black people still commit the most crime per capita. I don't think this has to do with their race. I personally think it has to do with a lack of fathers in the black community.
When we see a story on TV about a white serial killer, I don't automatically assume that all white people must be serial killers too.
I think that's a bit of an apples to oranges comparison. If all black people were criminals who stole small things like candy bars and TVs, that would be one thing. But if all white people were serial killers or school shooters, I'm pretty sure the death toll would be way higher than it is now.
Why does talking about race make you feel so uncomfortable?
Is it because you think that you'll be perceived as racist?
Kind of answered your own question there. Yeah, if white people disagree with you on anything about race, the first thing you're gonna do is play the race card.
You don't really believe that racism is over because we have a black president, do you?
No one thinks that. However, it is a big step.
Why is it so easy for you to notice when there are no white people around, but you hardly ever notice when there are no black people around?
'Cause this is a white majority country. I thought that would be obvious.
Why is your goal to be colorblind?
There's so many different types of people in the world, yet you can't see color?
Being colorblind means you're not judging people for their skin color. And you're absolutely right. There's so many different types of people in the world, but I'm not going to judge them by their color, but by their character. I wonder who said that. It was some guy with a mustache. I'm pretty sure he's unimportant.
Why do you want to say the N-word so badly?
If I don't use it, what makes you think you can?
Okay, you may not say nigga, but a lot of black people do say the word nigga. Also, white people want to say it because they're told not to say it. When you're told you can't do something, it makes you want to do it. Reverse psychology. But if you're white and you do use that word, then you're probably going to lose your job, or something else might happen to you.
Why do you always want to touch our hair?
I would much rather touch an Asian person's hair than a black person's hair. I also think that the issue of white people touching black people's hair is way over-exaggerated. But for the people who do want to touch your hair, it's probably because they never seen it before.
Why do you feel like having one black friend makes you a cultural expert or not a racist?
When you accuse a white person for little to no reason of being a racist, and their only defense is, I have black friends, that's the only defense they can get at that moment.
By that logic, then I'm not racist. I have a ton of white friends.
Bit of an apples to oranges comparison, you're in a white majority country, but I do actually believe if you have friends that are different races from you, you can still be a racist.
Why do you feel comfortable cursing at your parents?
The better question is, why are you uncomfortable doing it?
Why do you kiss your dogs on the mouth?
'Cause dogs are awesome.
How come you can't pronounce black names like Kuvanjane, but can say names like Schwarzenegger, Galifianakis, and LaBeouf just fine?
Shia LaBeouf and Schwarzenegger are very popular celebrities. I know I keep saying this over and over and over again, but that's a total apples to oranges comparison.
Why do you feel like all lions' lives matter, but black lives don't?
No one has said all lion lives matter or all gorilla lives matter, at least as far as I know. But people have the ability to care about animals in the same way they care about human lives. In fact, I'm pretty sure a lot of people who supported Black Lives Matter also were upset when Harambe died.
Why is it so hard for you to acknowledge your privilege?
Why is it so hard to acknowledge your privilege? If a bunch of white people made a video called "Questions White People Have for Black People," the entire media would have a panic attack.
How does it feel to not be the spokesperson for your entire race at any given time?
Must be nice.
It is pretty nice. If you want that, you can stop claiming to speak for your entire race. And now it's time to show some of my old videos covering BuzzFeed from my original channel. I have given up all hope of ever getting it back, but if you're unfamiliar with my old channel, you can see some new videos you haven't seen before. And if you have seen my old BuzzFeed videos, they have been remastered, so I highly recommend giving them another watch. I love Thanksgiving. It's a time of year where we can all sit around and eat a nice big dinner. And white people constantly get reminded about what their ancestors did to the Native Americans while Mexicans get a free pass. But I will always remember. I was thinking about what video I should do, and I decided I should do a Thanksgiving-themed video. And what has more to do with Thanksgiving than Native Americans? So today we're going to cover 9 questions Native Americans have for white people. I'm glad this BuzzFeed video is a lot shorter than the other BuzzFeed question videos. Normally they ask like 30 questions. Now when I do a BuzzFeed question video, I have a few rules. I don't try to answer a question with another question, and I don't try to say, "Who are you talking about?" But for this video, I'm not going to follow my rules. Mainly because I break my rules with the first question.
Why do you guys like headdresses so much?
I agree. White people love headdresses. They just can't leave the house without it. Oh no, wait. That's fucking stupid. I don't think I've ever seen someone wear a headdress. Except for in school plays, Comic-Con, and Halloween. That's it. It's not a common thing to wear. At all.
A headdress goes really well with your privilege.
That tone of yours goes really well with your privilege. Now, maybe a headdress goes well with a white person's privilege, but I wouldn't know, 'cause I never see them wear it.
Why do you always ask me how Native I am?
Maybe they're just curious.
It's so weird to have someone immediately want to quantify my identity.
They're not trying to quantify your identity. They just want to know how Native you are. Unless being Native American is your entire identity, and considering you work for BuzzFeed, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
That's just as personal as asking me my birthday, my weight, or my bra size.
I understand that asking someone their bra size or their weight is a personal question, but your birthday? I think you meant to say your age.
Why do you tell me I don't look like a Native American?
The fuck does a Native American look like?
Okay, bro, you look like you're barely Native American. You could easily pass for a white guy. When I think of a Native American, I think of someone looking like John Redcorn, not a white boy with black hair. If white privilege is so amazing, then just say you're a white guy. You could easily pass for one.
Should I put some war paint on? Should I make my hair longer? Oh, sorry, I didn't know that white people were the authority on what Native Americans look like.
Are you the authority on what Native Americans look like? If so, what do they look like?
Why do you think we get everything for free?
No one thinks that. But there are people who think all white people are rich.
I don't get casino money, I do pay taxes, and I have student loans up to here.
And while we're at it, natives are one of the poorest demographics in the country.
And your people got reparations. It's very funny that so many people think if this specific group got reparations, all their problems will go away. But then you look at the Native Americans who got the reparations, and they're one of the poorest demographics in the country.
If somebody wants to pay for my student loans at any time, please send me a check.
How about new?
What's up with the Washington words?
Really? You're calling the word redskin the R word? You gotta be kidding me.
Just change the name. Yeah, you don't find it offensive because it has nothing to do with you.
What if a Native American doesn't find it offensive? Would you say they have eternalized racism or something?
Look, I get that the R word is a tradition to the football team, but we also have a tradition of not being racist.
No, BuzzFeed. You have a tradition of being very racist.
Why do you think that real Indians all live on reservations?
I think most Indians live in India. I don't know why you're bringing Indians up. I thought this video was about Native Americans. Now I know a lot of you are typing in the comment section, you know what she means, just a robot. But here's the thing, if a white person called a Native American an Indian, they might get upset. Which is one of the questions they don't actually bring up in this video, and I'm kind of surprised by it. Why do you think Native Americans are Indians? You do know that Indians live in India, which is on the other side of the planet. You guys really missed an opportunity there.
So what's it like seeing yourself accurately portrayed in the media?
In every single movie and TV show and news outlet.
Every single movie ever? Someone hasn't seen movies from other countries.
What's that like? I would love to know.
And on top of it, we've got a lot of white people who are playing Native characters.
Rooney Mara, I'm talking to you.
I keep saying this. They change the races of characters all the time. Take the Japanese movie Attack on Titan. Most of those characters are supposed to be European. But in the movie, they were mostly played by Asians. Guess what? No one gave a shit. But of course, the worst race change of all time is this. I mean, how dare they make Ron not a ginger? He's supposed to be a ginger!
Why do you guys think we all know each other?
No, the stereotype is all black people know each other. Where do you get your stereotypes from?
We're not actually like that movie Avatar. We don't have a spiritual hive mind connected through the trees.
What the hell? No one thinks that! No one thinks you're like the movie Avatar! Everyone knows that's just a movie! You're completely making shit up!
How are you enjoying our land?
I think white people are enjoying it very much. And I think black people are enjoying it, Asians are enjoying it, and Native Americans are enjoying it. I mean, if you're born in the United States, you are an American citizen. So I have a question for you. How are you enjoying this land? Because this land was made for me and you.
It's pretty nice, right? I would love some of that land too.
You already have some of it. You know that, right?
Anything else I can get you? Cold beverage?
You're welcome.
I don't know why you're saying you're welcome. Your ancestors didn't give it up willingly. There was a whole war fought over it. When white people showed up, Native Americans were already killing each other. It's just white people had way better technology. And of course, smallpox.
I mean, we used to have like prime real estate, but now we got like little real estate.
Something happened.
Something happened.
I just want to say, what white people did to the Native Americans was terrible. And yes, I understand that many other migrants killed the native population, but that doesn't make it any less fucked up. But you should also understand that you aren't your ancestors. You are your own person, and let's not repeat the same mistakes our ancestors made. And BuzzFeed, stop it with the white guilt. I think my biggest problem with your question videos is how condescending they come across. I've said this a million times, and I'll say it again. Imagine the uproar if white people did this.
Hey Jar, something came in the mail today.
Let me guess, it's D's nuts, right?
Nah, it's Skyrim.
Oh my god, yes! Now I know what a lot of you are thinking. Oh wow! Someone answering BuzzFeed questions? I haven't seen 50 of these already! And yes, while you might have a point there, I try to answer these questions a little differently. I try my best not to answer a question with another question, or say things like, who are you talking about? The questions video we will be covering is questions white people have for white people. Now, something a lot of people don't know is that these questions are not generalizing. These questions are just for specific white people.
Why do you assume only other races like fried chicken? I love fried chicken. It should be a white person stereotype because of me.
Oh my god, we're on the first question, and you already got everything wrong. First of all, the stereotype isn't other races love fried chicken. The stereotype is a black stereotype. No one ever says, look at all those Mexicans eating fried chicken. They love their fried chicken. No, it's a black person stereotype. Second, it's not like, it's love fried chicken. No one thinks that other races or just black people are the only kinds of people that like fried chicken. The stereotype is they love fried chicken. But by far the worst part is when you said, I love fried chicken. It should be a white person stereotype because of me and me alone. By that logic, being a rich golfer should be a black person stereotype because of Tiger Woods.
Why do we make it so we only have pumpkin in the fall? I want pumpkin all the time.
It's not really a white thing. It's more of an American thing. And Americans harvest pumpkins in the fall because that's when it's in season. There's also a few cultural reasons why we only harvest pumpkin in the fall.
Why can't most white people dance?
Seriously, like, is it genetic or something? Do we have, like, stiff hips or, like, 2 left feet?
Wow, that's racist. You know how I said at the beginning of this video that they're not generalizing? I take that back. But to answer your question, it's because dancing is not really a big thing in white communities, so a lot of them don't practice dancing.
I can dance.
Okay, when people say white people can't dance, they mean this type of dancing. I highly doubt with your body type you can do this.
Why do you get so annoyed when other people don't speak English?
English is hard. We have silent Ks.
First of all, learning any language is hard. Also, this is really not a white thing. Pretty much anyone doesn't like it when people can't speak their language. Every time you try to order from a restaurant where the workers can't speak your language, they keep messing up your order. I have a lot of Japanese immigrant robots where I live. Well, their preferred term is Gundam. And every time I try to order some food from them, they keep messing it up.
Why do we get so excited to brag on Instagram that we went to this really cool, authentic cultural festival, even though we went with all of our white friends?
The real question is, why should it matter? Do white people need a checklist of what friends they're bringing? Do they need to bring 2 black friends, 3 Mexican friends? Seriously, it shouldn't matter what your friend's skin color is. Sorry, BuzzFeed, but not everybody is as racist as you.
Why do white people spray tan until they turn orange?
Can't you just be comfortable in your own body?
I'm just saying, it's not tan, it's orange.
Okay, I do agree with this question. Honestly, a lot of people look worse when they tan. But something you should know is that a lot of white people don't feel comfortable in their own skin because they're told that being white makes them evil.
Why do you think that since you've seen 5 seasons of The Wire, you're a cultural expert?
Why do you believe everything you see on TV when it comes to other races?
Remember when I said at the beginning of this video I would try to not answer the questions by saying, who are you talking about? Well, I'm already going to break that rule. Who are you talking about?
Why do we get upset when a TV show becomes diverse, even though diverse usually just means 2 to 3 people of color?
No, it's forced diversity that people don't like. Like when they change the race of a character just to change the race of a character.
Why do you assume movies with white stars are automatically more relatable than movies with people of color?
I have literally heard every single race but white people complain about this. Now that is most likely because most characters are white, but here's the thing. I don't relate to a character because of their skin color or race. I relate to a character because they have a similar personality trait to me.
Why is Viola Davis the first black woman to win an Emmy for Best Actress?
Okay, here's the thing. I don't really like the Oscars. However, I'm pretty sure they're not racially biased. They don't pick people on their skin color. They pick people who they think are the best actor, best writer, best director, or whatever they pick people for.
Why aren't we complaining that the Oscars and other award shows are like all white?
It's just like white people congratulating other white people on being white.
By that logic, black people who watch football or basketball are just black people congratulating other black people on being black.
Why don't we know the difference between appropriation and appreciation?
Sorry, BuzzFeed, a lot of people do know the difference. I think you people are the ones who don't know the difference.
Why can't we figure out how to make our own pop culture, our own slang, our own cool clothes, instead of stealing other people's cool clothes and then saying that they are our cool clothes?
Okay, first of all, they are your cool clothes if you paid for them. And also, white people don't wear hoodies and sag their pants and say things like, yeah, this is a white person thing, we did it first. And also, why should only one race have a certain type of clothing? What if white people invented a certain type of clothing, and they said only they could wear it? Guess what would happen? They would be called racist.
Why are white people obsessed with Wes Anderson?
Probably because they like him.
Why would you ever say thug life? It's a bad life.
Why is this a white question? I think I've heard more black people say it.
What do you have against seasoning and spiciness? Didn't Christopher Columbus discover America looking for spices?
Okay, I do somewhat agree with this question, but it's because a lot of white people don't grow up with spicy food and they're not used to it.
Their casseroles are thing.
Well, I think casserole should be a black stereotype because of this guy. Oh no, wait. That's stupid.
Why do you try to avoid confrontation at all costs?
Remember this part, because it's going to come up later.
Why is it crazy that I'm white and I have a big butt?
Hold on a second. I thought a big butt was attractive on a white woman.
Why is a big butt and big lips considered attractive on a white woman, but they're unattractive on a black woman?
Why do you make such a big deal when somebody doesn't want to hike?
Again, I'm going to break my rule. Who are you talking about?
Why do you keep talking about reverse racism? That is not a thing.
You are correct. There is no such thing as reverse racism. There's just racism, and anyone of any race can be racist.
We are the people in power.
Racism is about oppression. Sorry, white people have not been oppressed.
First of all, that is not the definition of racism. Racism is being prejudiced against someone because of their skin color. Also, there are points in history where white people were oppressed. Have you ever heard of the Holocaust?
Why are you too afraid to speak up when someone says something racist?
I should be asking you that question. Your company is racist. Speak up about it.
Why do we think that having one friend of color means that nothing we say or do could possibly ever be racist?
You see, the term racist is a lot more broad now. Back in the 20s, if a white person had a black friend, that would prove he's not a racist.
Why does being half white automatically make my commentary on white culture only half true? I am just as much white as I am Mexican.
I agree with this. Your commentary on any race shouldn't be any less valid just because of your skin color.
Why do you believe that Black Lives Matter means that your life doesn't matter?
Why do you think all lives matter doesn't include black people?
Why do you get offended when you see a table full of black people, but not when you see a lunchroom full of white people?
I've never broken my rules so many times. Who are you talking about?
Why do you always ask to have a white people club?
You already do. It's a student union. It's primarily white. They have a black student union because you don't represent them well.
Well, there's technically a white student union, like the Irish student union.
Why do you see the success of people of color as a threat to you?
Outside of white supremacist groups, who thinks like that?
You know that a 2-minute video about whiteness isn't reverse racism, right?
You are correct. It is not reverse racism, it's just racism. Out of all the straw mans SJWs ever created, this one has to be the weirdest. A bunch of SJWs like to pretend people say things like reverse racism or reverse sexism when I really haven't heard anyone but them use it.
2 minutes about whiteness, Hundreds of years of systemic oppression? Yeah, I think we can deal with this.
Racism is still racism. You can argue that one race faces more racism than another race, but racism is still racism. The thing about people like BuzzFeed is they think by tearing down one race it will help another race. I'm not for that. I'm for giving rights, not taking rights away. Also, the whole thing about hundreds of years of systemic oppression, I don't speak for everybody, but I personally don't give a shit if someone's ancestors did something to my ancestors.
Why are we upset about immigrants when we were the first immigrants? And we were white people running away from other white people. That kind of shows you how bad white people can be.
The white guilt is strong in this one. First of all, most people don't have a problem with immigrants. It's illegal immigrants that cause crime or can't speak English. And the whole white people running away from other white people thing, if we take what you said literally, technically any immigrant is just running away from their own race. And I'm really sick and tired of people saying that white people think that they own America. A black man born in America is an American citizen. A white man born in England is a British citizen. Also, remember earlier in the video when I said remember this part?
Why do you try to avoid confrontation at all costs?
So, which is it? Are white people pacifists that hate confrontation? Or are white people pure evil and they invade other nations and take them over? I'm sorry, BuzzFeed, but you can't have it both ways. Out of all the BuzzFeed videos I have covered, this had to be the most infuriating. Oh, BuzzFeed questions. You always seem to disappoint me. Today we're going to cover their video, 27 questions black people have for black people. This video was actually really hard to get through, and as great and magnificent as I am, I had to ask for help on this one. So in today's video, I will be having help from Tree of Logic. She will be answering all the odd number questions, and I will be answering all the even number questions. A link to her channel will be down below. But enough chit-chat. Let's dive right into this video.
Why is it so hard to be on time? Like, why does 5 to 10 always become 20 to 30?
I know, right? That's why I moved to Germany. I got tired of black people and their CPT schedule. So I decided to surround myself with Germans. Germans are so strict about time that one day I came to a meeting 10 minutes early and they said I was late.
If my dab is on fleek, am I lit?
This question is a lot better than most of the other BuzzFeed questions, mainly because it's an actual yes or no question. And the answer is no. It's because you work for BuzzFeed. And if you work for BuzzFeed, you'll never be lit.
Why is it a problem if I like anime?
Oh brother, it isn't a problem for me that you like anime. Hell, I like anime too, especially anime porn.
Why do black people look at your shoes before they greet you?
It is more of a hoodlum thing than it is a black thing. Shoes are a part of hood culture, in the same way dark clothing is a part of goth culture, or wearing glasses that help your vision in no way whatsoever is a part of hipster culture.
Why are we more likely to engage in the new dance trend than we are to get involved in politics or opening a business?
Cannot relate. This does not apply to me because I am a business owner. You need to go ask Shaniqua and Tyrone because I can't help you.
How did watermelon become our thing? Like, everybody should love watermelon.
After the Civil War of America, black people grew, ate, and sold watermelon, and it became a symbol of their freedom. I guarantee you, the average black Joe doesn't know this, so you might want to Google some of your questions.
Why do you get upset when I don't like a black celebrity?
Girl, I don't care who you don't like. As a matter of fact, you can add me to your don't like list.
Race aside, some people are just terrible.
Yes, and a lot of them work for BuzzFeed.
We call each other the N-word, but get vehemently upset when a white person uses the N-word.
I completely agree. I hate hypocrisy. So on my YouTube channel, white people are free to use the N-word just like black people are freely using it. Equality for all. Yay!
It drains my soul to hear the word, and I just don't understand how people who have any understanding of history can use that word.
Oh my god. So at first I thought you were going for, if black people can say the word nigga, then white people should also be able to use the word. But now I see you're saying that no one should. What do you want? The word to be illegalized? You know what? Just for that, everybody type in the chat that Alex is a stupid. I have just been informed by my lawyer that I should not finish that sentence.
Why is my natural hair, the hair that grows out of my head, seen as a political statement?
Girl, you made that shit up. There is nothing political about a black woman having natural hair. As a matter of fact, you will not find one black woman who's in politics having natural hair like yours or mine. Oh, by the way, all of this is mine. I've been natural since 1996. It wasn't a political statement back then, and it's not a political statement today.
Why do we think people with light skin look better than people with dark skin?
This is a pretty broad question because not every black person finds a white woman attractive for the same reasons. Some black men find white women more attractive because they can get their hair wet, because they don't talk back as often, because they have no problem spoiling their man with gifts, etc. Or it could just simply be preference.
Do you really believe that black is beautiful?
Well, truth be told, black isn't beautiful on everybody, but it sure is cute on me. Who's a pretty girl? You're a pretty girl. Pretty tree.
Why do some black people say that you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl?
I never say that, and the intelligent black people I know would never say that.
When that is said to me, it still makes me feel like the ugliest little black thing.
Oh, you're not the ugliest black thing. This is the ugliest black thing. Okay, that was a little too far. But in all seriousness, try to take compliments that are given to you and don't view everything as an insult.
Why do some black men only date white women?
Because black women are difficult. We expect black men to meet these high expectations that their black mothers never taught them how to achieve. Some black women expect black men to come all correct, yet they don't even have their own shit together. So let them have their white women, honey. They earned it.
Is it okay for black men to date white women, but not okay for a black woman to date outside her race?
I think you're asking this question because your dad did not like you dating white boys. No wonder why you ended up working for BuzzFeed.
Why do you protest Black Lives Matter
and then tear each other down in the next breath?
Because I hate ignorance, hypocrisy, and uncivilized behavior. Black Lives Matter and certain people in the black community display these characteristics. So on one hand, you have certain individuals in the black community doing stupid shit. And on the other hand, you have the group Black Lives Matter also doing stupid shit. Regardless if you're a group or an individual, if you do stupid shit, I'm going to clown you.
Why do we say that we don't want to be seen as a monolith, but then try to take people's black cards away for not liking something that's supposedly black?
I actually agree with this statement. Black card, man card, woman card, gay card. People shouldn't be held in boxes. They should be who they want to be.
Why are we so quick to support a non-black owned business, but then hesitate when it's a black owned business?
Because they open on time. They are fully stocked. The business is clean. I don't have to worry about listening to either rap or gospel music every time I come in the store. The cashier doesn't smell like weed. I don't have to worry about Raheem trying to sell me bootleg movies every time I leave the place. I could go on and on, but I'm gonna stop there.
Is there a cutoff time for this whole homophobia thing in the black community? Because I'm really looking forward to that.
I'm more interested in the cutoff time for when so many black communities are going to stop blaming white people for everything. But to answer your question, it's because there's a lot of religion in black communities.
Why is growing up without a father so common in our race?
When black women stop glorifying single motherhood and start realizing that every child needs a father or a father figure living inside the home, this will change. Unfortunately, most black women rather raise a companion instead of finding one. The black community celebrates single-parent homes and consider black single mothers the norm. When black women start realizing that they're doing our race a disservice by denying children a father living inside the home, black children growing up without a father will no longer be the norm within our race.
Why don't we like to confront our mental health issues? Therapy is such a wonderful and magical place.
Is that a question for black people or social justice warriors? All I gotta say is, lead by example.
Why is there a checklist for being black?
Never heard of that. I doubt that's true. Did BuzzFeed tell you to say that?
Why is being educated considered a white thing? Why can't I love school and also be black?
I'm gonna let Professor Dreadlock answer this question.
Well, that's because the type of music that's marketed towards black youth, such as rap, hip-hop, R&B, it's often laced with lyrics that romanticize poverty and various aspects of what is commonly thought of as hood culture. This means that black youth that see past the romanticized marketing get shunned by their peers. This is more so the fault of the music industry, not the black community itself.
Why do I have to be mixed in order to have long hair?
Who said that all mixed people have long hair? That's a myth, girl. I know a lot of mixed people and their hair is that long.
You think well-off black people don't know what it means to be black?
Some black people do feel that way because they haven't felt the struggle, and they only got their wealth because they Uncle Toms.
Black isn't only defined by adversity.
That wasn't a question. You made a statement. Oh, why do these beta males on BuzzFeed find it so hard to follow directions?
Some black people say, oh, I have Native American in my family in order to feel interesting or more valuable than other black people around them.
This is definitely not just a black thing. Literally every single race has people who say, I'm mixed with something to sound special. I can't even tell you the amount of white people who have told me I'm 7.6% Asian or something like that.
Why can't we just acknowledge that there are a bunch of different types of black people walking around and they're all amazing and unique and special in their own way?
I do acknowledge this. Hence why I don't use the term African American. You see, I know here in America we have black people from Jamaica, Trinidad, Brazil, Haiti, Cuba, and to call them African American is an insult. It's like disregarding the country that they were born in. So I recognize their uniqueness. Do you?
We within the black community are so quick to kind of tear each other down and to look towards other races in terms of their success and in terms of what they have, but never want to kind of look into the mirror ourselves.
I love how in all their white question videos, all the questions are pretty much negative. But in this video, they're like, black people, look at yourselves. You're so special. You do know what Black History Month is, right? Several black people celebrate it. Several black people know about the inventions that other black people have made. And if there are black people who hate their own race, well then educate them.
I love black folks, but that doesn't mean I don't have questions.
And I too love black people. And these questions reminded me why I don't hang around y'all so much.
Why are we always looking for the discount? Shoot, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be looking for the discount too though. I'm saying this, but I'm one of them.
Oh my god. Magneto, get in here please.
Why do you ask questions to which you already know the answers?
Now before I end this video off, I just want to say one more thing. This is the first video BuzzFeed has ever made where they made fun of a different race than white people. And I'm not even joking here. They apologized for this video on Twitter. You have got to be shitting me. Before I begin this video, I just want to make a quick update. You may have noticed a new location. Well, that's because I'm in Scotland right now. I don't have very much access to the internet, so I'm trying my very hardest to upload this video. With that being said, let's get on with the commentary. 26 questions Asians have for white people. Since every single person and their grandma have answered these questions already, I try to answer the question slightly differently. For one thing, I don't answer questions with another question, and I also don't say, I don't do that.
Why do you think every Asian person is Chinese?
It's because China is by far the biggest Asian country. People from other countries mistake Canadians for Americans all the time. It's really no big deal.
That's like me saying to like a white person, hey, you're English.
I am English.
At least they have a sense of humor this time. It's good to see that they're learning.
Why do you think a film or TV show is diverse just because there are 1 or 2 black people in it?
We're here too.
All 5% of you. Here's the thing. If seeing Asians in movies mean that much to you, then go watch a Japanese movie.
Why are the awkward nerd characters the only roles available for Asians in film?
We do a lot of other stuff too.
You know as well as I do that's not the only role for Asian people to play. Also, I don't even think it's the main role. Most Asian characters that I have seen are doing karate, kung fu, and other martial arts.
Why are all of you talking about our penises?
Because they're small and pathetic.
Why do you think Asians can't be the stars of movies? There aren't going to be any Asian celebrities out there to cast if we haven't been given a chance yet.
Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, barely any Asians in America. Go watch a movie from Japan.
Why do you think watching Korean dramas and K-pop makes you an expert on Korean culture? Like, does me watching girls make me an expert in white culture? It does.
I think it would have been better if you said, why do you think watching anime makes you an expert on Japanese culture? But to answer your question, I agree. People who think they're an expert on another culture just because they watched a few shows from that country are really stupid. However, it's not a white thing. Pretty much every single country has people like that.
Why do you cast white people to play roles that are meant for Asian people? I'm not gonna forget Emma Stone.
People switch around the races of characters all the time. It's really no big deal, and it doesn't just happen to Asian characters.
Why do you think saying namaste is an appropriate way to greet me?
Yamaste. Has anybody ever said Yamaste to you? Really?
Why do you think saying ni hao is a good thing to say to us? If you're not actually going to converse with me in Chinese, I don't need to hear it.
It's because it's polite to greet people in their native language. If I was in a different country and everybody was speaking a different language and someone walked up to me and said hello, that would make me feel a lot better.
Why do you think I eat dogs? I have 2 dogs.
If someone assumes you eat dogs just because you're an Asian, then that person's a racist. However, you should know that there are some Asians that do eat dogs.
Why do you think that Hindi and Hindu are the same thing?
I guess it's because no one ever told me. But now someone has, so thanks, even though I don't see how this information will help me in any way whatsoever, but thanks.
Why are you so surprised that I can speak English well?
I was born in America.
Some Asians who are born in America speak broken English, or as I like to call it, English. If someone said to you that they were surprised you spoke English properly, that person probably grew up around a bunch of Asians who spoke English.
Why do you always ask me, where are you really from? Because obviously I'm from my mom's vagina.
Why do you guys think it's okay to call me an immigrant or foreigner? I was born in America.
Okay, BuzzFeed. I know you're not generalizing all white people when you ask these questions, and these questions are just for specific white people. But do you know what would be awesome, BuzzFeed? If you ask these questions in the moment, instead of holding on to them and putting them in a video. I'm sorry, BuzzFeed, but I lack the ability to get in the heads of these white people.
Why do you think Indians aren't Asians? India is literally in Asia.
For the same reason why Russians are not considered Asian, even though Russia is in Asia. Also for the same reason why white people born in America are still called European.
Why do you say it's basically the same thing when I tell you I'm from Sri Lanka and not India?
they're different countries.
They may be different countries, but their culture is pretty similar. People say Canadians and Americans are basically the same thing. It's really no big deal.
Why does a person of color automatically mean black to you? I'm a person of color too.
I don't really think anyone should be called a person of color, unless they're like a really weird color like orange or something. Kind of like Donald Trump.
Why do you think all brown people are Indian?
The overwhelming majority of people who are your shade of brown are from India. India is an extremely overpopulated country. It's half the size of America and has 3 times the people.
Why do you think you deserve a high five for pronouncing my name correctly?
Maybe because it's a really hard name to pronounce.
Why do you think including diversity in the workplace reduces the quality of work? I thought you thought we were all nerds.
No, it's forced diversity that ruins the quality of work. Like when a company hires someone, not because of what they can do, but just so they can fill a quota.
Why do you think it's okay to call me exotic?
I mean, technically we're the largest part of the world population, so shouldn't white people be exotic?
Being exotic depends on what race you are and where you are. For example, if a white British person went to some place like Jamaica, they would be considered exotic.
Why do you think I can't see properly? Do you really think my eyes are that small?
Why is this a question for specifically white people? I'm pretty sure every other race, except for Asians of course, have groups of people who ask this kind of question.
Why is it weird when all Asian people hang out, but it's fine when all white people hang out?
Probably because they get together and make videos like this. But in all seriousness, maybe they just think it looks weird because they never seen it before.
So tell me, what does a sunburn feel like?
You do realize that anyone can be sunburned, right? If you really want to know, just stand in the sun for a really long time. But if you don't have the patience for that, you can pour steaming hot bleach all over yourself. But in all seriousness, don't pour steaming hot bleach all over yourself. That's fucking awful.
Why do you keep trying to justify yellow fever?
I don't know why they use fever for all these things. It's not a disease, it's just
I agree.
Why are we being stereotyped as cheap or stingy? Maybe I'm just cost efficient.
Maybe it's because you say shit like this all the time.
Mom, Dad, this is Alan.
It's a pleasure
Where
to meet
you go college?
Tufts?
Never heard, not real school. What you do?
I'm an eco consultant.
What that? That sounds stupid. How much you make?
About $200,000 per year.
Welcome to family.
Also, I think Jews are stereotyped as being cheap way more than Asians are.
Why do you think all Asian people are smart?
I used to, but then I saw this video. This is my first video on BuzzFeed, but it most certainly won't be the last. 36 questions women have for men. Being that I'm a genderless robot, these questions aren't for me, but I'll try to play the part of a man as best I can.
How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
I am not a sexist, and I don't care about gender, so it really doesn't matter to me if Trump was a man or a woman. Now you tell me, how does it feel to be the same gender as Sarah Palin? Why did you pick Trump? Is it because he's offensive?
Rubio!
You could have gone with Hitler or Stalin, but you went with Trump. Speaking of which, thanks for subscribing to me, Donald Trump.
Why do you hate rom-coms? Or do you just feel like you need to hate them?
Because most of them have a predictable plot and humor that rivals Adam Sandler.
Everybody likes The Notebook.
It's not everybody's favorite movie, just yours, jerk.
Everybody likes Beyonce. It's just a fact.
Why are feminists so obsessed with Beyonce? This is not even the first time I have heard this.
You do not speak on behalf of all women. Neither do I. Neither does anybody. Except maybe Beyonce.
You know what? I'm gonna keep a counter. So far it's at 2.
Why do you make women sit around and talk about men in movies?
Guys force women to talk about men in movies? Where? When? Can you give an example?
Y'all easily just sit around and talk about boobs for hours.
From my experience, I have heard guys talk more about the D's nuts dude than boobs.
Got him!
But if what you're saying is true, guys talk about boobs because they don't have them. More importantly, why do you talk about boobs so much? Talking about how you should be able to breastfeed in public, and that there should be less bikini models on magazines. So you answer my question, why do you talk about boobs so much?
Why do you automatically assume that you won't like TV or movies that star a female lead?
You know, most of these questions could be answered with I don't. But I feel like that answer would get old and stale. The reason why a lot of guys don't like a movie that stars a female lead is because feminists won't shut up about it, and they totally ruin the movie.
Why are you surprised when women are funny?
I'm probably funnier than you.
I guarantee you, you're hilarious. But I'm not laughing with you. I'm laughing at you.
Why do you think that we're obsessed with you when we hook up?
9 times out of 10, I just want you to leave too. I'm busy. I got shit to do.
Oh look, the funny one wants men to leave. Is it because you're tired of them laughing at you? But in all seriousness, to answer your question, this is not a gendered thing. Pretty much everybody does this in a relationship.
Why can't I sleep with as many people as I want to without being judged? When men do it, they're congratulated.
It's because men ask women out. If a man can get a woman to say yes, awesome. But a woman needs to know when to say yes. She can't just say yes to everything. Also, men aren't always congratulated for having sex with a ton of women. A lot of them are called man whores or women manipulators.
Why do you consider a woman a tease if she doesn't sleep with you after 3 dates, but a slut if she sleeps with you on the first date?
You're clearly talking about two different guys.
In what world does no mean yes?
No means no.
Are you talking about rape? Because it sounds like you're talking about rape. To answer your question, it's because rapists don't care what you say.
Why do you say that women are too emotional to be leaders?
Women generally are more emotional than men. It's just a fact. But the main reason why people think women are too emotional to lead is because of people like you.
Then justify catcalling by saying men just can't control themselves.
I have never heard anyone justify catcalling by saying, boys will be boys. Normally I hear them say, women do it too, or saying good morning or God bless you is not catcalling.
How do you think that just because you're nice to me, I owe you my body?
Well, that all depends. Did he just hold the door open for you? Or did he help you out financially so you didn't end up homeless? And all he wanted was some sugar on the side. But all you said was, teehee, sorry, I like big buff men, not nice guys. And I don't think that they believe you owe them your body. I think they just want a chance.
Why would you ever send an unsolicited dick pic?
Well, stop giving your phone number to people who want to send pictures of their dicks to you.
Why do you feel like it's okay to harass women or make offensive comments about women, but when somebody does it to your sister, it's not okay?
Because humans are social animals, and they tend to care about their friends and family more than random strangers.
How does it feel to interrupt me when I'm in the middle of making a point?
Feels great, actually, and while we're on the subject, stop mansplaining.
Why do you have to sit with your legs so wide open?
I get that you have balls, but I don't stand around with my arms wide open to make room for my boobs.
Because your arms are not crushing your boobs. And stop putting your bags all over the place.
What are you doing? Seriously, what is this all about? Are you trying to tell me you once caught a fish that big?
Why are women perceived as the weaker sex, even though we literally birth you? Like watermelons through like this.
Men on average are stronger than women due to their testosterone. It's just a fact. Giving birth is not a feat of strength, no more than passing a kidney stone is. It's more of a feat of durability.
Why is it so bad to show your emotions?
It means you're human.
Do you want men to cry so you can fill up your male tears mug and drink it later?
Why are you always trying to prove your masculinity to me?
Because men like to show off.
Why the f isn't it ladylike to cuss? When did words get gendered?
You say that, yet you still censor yourself. And yes, while it's not ladylike to swear, it is also not gentlemanlike to swear.
Why is it your first instinct to doubt women who have been sexually violated or raped?
Because I believe in the phrase, innocent until proven guilty. Women have lied about being raped before. For example, the Duke Lacrosse case. By the way, this woman right here raped me. Now I have absolutely zero proof, but why is your first instinct to doubt robots who are survivors of sexual violence?
Why do you assume a woman's angry because she's on her period?
Because biology. Also, several women have used the excuse, oh, sorry, it's just that time of the month. So maybe that's where the stereotype comes from.
Why do you think women that wear makeup are false advertising? We can say the same thing about your dick size.
This is like the worst comparison I have ever heard, ever. You can't really increase the size of your dick with makeup or anything, unless of course you use surgery. Maybe she's saying some guys lie about the size of their dicks, but guys get called out on that all the time.
Why isn't it weird that there's a bunch of old white men sitting in a room making legislation about what I can and can't do with my body?
It's because those men were elected. But I guess you're right. We should let a woman make laws about abortion, like Sarah Palin.
Do you have a coochie?
Men do not have coochies. That's kind of the reason why they're men. I guess you haven't taken sex ed yet, which doesn't surprise me.
Why are straight guys so obsessed with lesbians?
According to Pornhub, the most common porn watched by women is lesbian porn. So you tell me, why are women so obsessed with lesbians?
How does it feel to get kicked in the balls?
This actually might be the first legit question. Picture one of your organs being on the outside of your body, then picture it being hit. Basically like that.
Do you ever get tired of trying to be manly all the time?
The men you hang out with most likely never try to be manly. Probably because they think it's toxic.
Why are you so afraid of gender equality?
I'm not. You are. Care to talk about the equality of child custody? Or would you rather talk about manspreading?
Why do I deserve to be paid less than you?
In what world does 77 cents equal $1?
Oh my god, the pay gap myth. I knew it was only a matter of time. You see, if the pay gap was real, businesses would hire exclusively women because they don't have to pay them as much. But because there's a law that says women and men do have to be paid an equal amount, they don't do that.
In what world does 68 cents equal $1?
How is that fair?
People who believe in the pay gap love to talk about how women are paid less, how Mexicans are paid less, and how black people are paid less than the average white man. But there is a group of people they love to leave out. On average, an Asian man makes more than a white man. That's very odd. Why would a white-dominated country give Asians more money? It's probably because they work harder and take less vacation time.
You doctor yet?
No, Dad, I'm 12.
Talk to me when you doctor.
Why are you intimidated by a woman who makes more money than you? That's awesome. More money.
It's not so much intimidation as it is jealousy. People, not just men, tend to be jealous of people, not just women, who make more money than them.
Why are opinionated women seen as bitches?
When opinionated men are seen as bosses.
Opinionated men are seen as mansplainers, and women who are opinionated are not seen as bitches. Bitches are seen as bitches.
Why aren't you speaking up when you hear your male friends behind closed doors make jokes that are offensive to women?
Really? Now you want a police speech you can't even hear? Yeah, the jokes might be offensive, but at least they're not saying it right in front of you. And by the way, didn't you say,
I'm probably funnier than you.
but you don't like jokes?
Why are you so afraid of recognizing your own privilege? Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Just recognize it and do something about it.
Why don't you acknowledge your privilege? If the genders for this video were reversed, you would be labeled as a sexist for the rest of your life. Also, is it just me, or did they not ask 36 questions? This is how many I counted. Tell me if I missed any, or maybe they're just so incompetent they can't count. I feel like taking a break from talking about feminist. Maybe I'll talk about something else. It can be anything you guys want. Except that!